God, we haven't even talked about the movie of the week, Mason.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
You know, sometimes they say history takes years or something, and then history all happens in a week. And that's what feels like this week of Marvel.
You're thinking about buses.
I am thinking about buses. What's to do with that?
Sometimes buses take years, and then sometimes there's 3 buses in a week
Yeah.
in history.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. You know, seldom do buses make great history, is the expression, I believe.
I didn't know
you're
that.
thinking of. You know?
That's great, actually.
That's right.
It's nice to learn. Anyways, Deadpool and Wolverine on a budget of $200 million, and you can see every single second of it.
In Hugh Jackman's pockets.
Whoa!
Yes.
Probably. Looks like the US return for this could be to about $205 million, but maybe more.
That's big.
That's going to be the highest ever R-rated opening movie. It's going to beat out Deadpool 2016, which made $133 million, so much higher than that. Plus, it's going to make about another $211 internationally. So the global opening for this movie is $420 million plus.
That's a big R-rated opening. That's a joke worthy of Deadpool himself.
Definitely, Mason.
That's right.
So yeah, this is a huge hit. I mean, you know, it's broken even already.
Yeah.
It'll probably have a bit of legs. I mean, it might drop off dramatically in the second week, but I don't know. Word of mouth seems to be pretty good on this.
And I think a lot of regular, real people have sort of been clamoring for a long time, and a lot of them just didn't have time to see it opening weekend.
That's
They'll
right.
see it next weekend.
Regular and real.
Regular and real.
What do you think the story was?
Oh, come on, mate.
You can do it.
All right. Okay. Well, I will say this movie starts with a big action sequence.
Yeah, man.
It's funny and disrespectful and very violent.
And there's a song?
There is a song, but then after that, we learn that Deadpool, he's quit. He's quit the game. He's quit the mercenary game. He's quit the superheroing game.
That's right.
He's just a regular guy now. He sells cars. He's living a regular life with his friends from previous Deadpool movies.
That's right. Some of them.
That's right.
Not Cable.
Cable's not there. Neither's Domino. She's not there either. Yep.
Interesting.
But I mean, they're all barely there, aren't they?
Neither's TJ Miller.
TJ Miller isn't there.
What's going on?
I don't know. I'd forgotten about him until just now. He got blown up in that construction yard or whatever.
Oh, in
Remember that
Transformers
threw that
4
grenade
or whatever.
and he just turned into a melted statue.
Oh, yeah.
And that happened in real life. So.
Did it really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great news.
Anyway, then some stuff happens.
Yeah.
And then Deadpool learns. This is as deep as we'll go into spoilers, I feel like, until we talk about it in the spoiler section. Deadpool learns that his universe, the Fox X-Men universe, has lost its anchor being, which is Logan from the movie Logan.
Yeah.
And as a result, his universe is going to slowly unravel over the period of several thousand years.
Yeah.
But
Matthew McFadden,
Mr. Paradox, an agent of the TVA, that's the Time Variance Authority from the TV show Loki.
Yeah.
He wants to prove himself as a valuable member of the TVA, so he's going to cause the Deadpool universe to explode in
All
72
at
hours. And how does Deadpool learn this? Well, Mr. Paradox tells him.
He pulls him out of the universe and says...
And he says, hey, I know how you're a famously violently unpredictable man who always tends to do the right thing in the end. You're not going to do anything violently unpredictable right now, are you?
Yeah.
Like in order to do the right
I've got
thing.
this telephone that can go anywhere.
Yeah. You're not going to be violent.
Not going to grab that, are you?
Oh, you are. Oh, all right. And then Deadpool does a Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's
He's
right.
like, I better do a Deadpool and Wolverine.
His idea is to replace the Wolverine in his universe.
Yeah.
But I guess also, okay, so just some timeline stuff.
It doesn't matter. Here's the thing.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the version of Logan in the main universe is dead, but that also happens like a few years after this.
Yes.
But he knows that because I guess he time travels to the future.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And so he knows that Wolverine is dead.
This is unrelated to the time tampering of the previous movie.
Yes. Though it is mentioned in passing.
Yes.
So Wolverine is dead even though he shouldn't be in this timeline. He should still be alive.
Right.
At this point
It doesn't matter, though.
So he could have just got the one that's alive is what I'm saying.
Oh, I guess so, but also that happens somewhere else, I reckon.
Yeah, it probably happens somewhere else.
Somewhere
It's not
else.
like he has a machine that can go anywhere.
Look, I suspect one of the reasons... Well, yeah, he destroyed it.
Yeah.
Eventually.
But then he gets another one.
No, I think that's in a flashback. The one that he has. Oh, then he gets another
steals one,
He does
yeah.
steal another one. Look, a lot of stuff we're going to encounter in this.
It doesn't matter. It's never mattered.
It's never mattered.
The X-Men timeline is fucked, and Deadpool movies, they've never attempted to make any sense of them whatsoever.
Also, was this some at least partially put together during the writer's strike?
Yes.
Okay, well, that explains more
That
things.
explains more of it.
That explains a lot of stuff, actually.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, look, people are saying, look, the MCU is back. We've heard this is
Some people are saying the MCU is done.
That's right. Some people are saying that this is the best or one of the best comic book movies of all time.
Some people are saying slop.
I don't even think this is the best Deadpool movie.
Interesting.
I love the inclusion of Wolverine in this.
I go back and forth between Deadpool 1 being the best Deadpool movie and Deadpool 2 being the
I
best.
like 2.
2 is good. 1 is really good in the sense that they use the very limited budget at their disposal to do something creative and interesting.
Whereas this one has an unlimited budget.
That's correct.
And maybe it doesn't exactly lend itself to creative storytelling. Because I think for this, probably the weakest aspect of it is just the plot in general.
Yes.
And I think the action is also, and we'll talk about it, is just not great.
Right.
I liked it, but I wasn't enamored with it.
Well, here's the thing. We watched it at the start of last week.
Yeah.
So we've had essentially infinite time to think about this.
Right.
And I've flip-flopped a number of times throughout the week.
Wow.
And what I've settled on,
Coward.
I've made peace with this. So I'm like, well, a lot of this is not great. You know, almost none of this we can talk about without spoilers.
No.
So we're going to have to do a lot of this in spoilers. But we have talked about in recent weeks, I think, maybe on this podcast, maybe in a bonus podcast, maybe in our real life, if you can even imagine that sort of thing. They don't make like broad Zucker Brothers comedies anymore.
Yeah.
Like your epic movie, your scary
it's Britney
movie.
Spears.
Yeah, your superhero movie.
Oh,
even.
it's Paris Hilton.
Exactly.
Oh, it's Jessica Simpson.
And I think one of the reasons for that is because there's so much stuff out there.
Yeah.
And everybody's getting their entertainment from so many different avenues that you could make a movie like that and it could have 100 references to movies and TV shows and memes and politics and current events. And a person could watch it and come out and go, I didn't get any of those. Because it was a Netflix movie I didn't see.
Yeah.
It was a TV series on streaming I didn't watch.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly. All that sort of stuff. And this movie, again, plot-wise, not great, but this is like one of those movies. And I don't mean quality-wise.
Yeah.
I mean like as a framework. This is like
Scattershot.
This is like a Zucker brother. I would say it's not as good as like an Airplane or a Top Secret,
No.
but it is like a cut above it. But it's sort of this works because you know that the people who are going to watch this at least have a framework of that.
Yeah.
Like they know if they haven't seen every one of these movies, they know there's a lot of Marvel stuff out there. They've seen the X-Men movies. They've seen
recognize
the Deadpool
cameos.
So it's kind of like a Zucker Brothers
okay.
kind of thing. It's like if they made the movie Hot Shots and they cast Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer as Maverick and Goose to make fun of the movie Top Gun.
Right.
It's that.
God.
They've got Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds to make fun of their own prior work.
Right, yeah.
So I've made peace with that.
Yeah.
So I would say as generally speaking, like if you
it's
see
enjoyable. Yeah.
if you see this as a series of loosely connected sketches that are making fun of the many foibles of the overly complicated Marvel universes, I think it mostly works. I think there are a lot of funny gags. I think there's some dead space.
Yeah.
I think
our theater, we saw it in a pretty packed theater. It wasn't, and that was like the earliest session that you could see it. And people weren't like rolling around the floor laughing.
No.
Like it got some laughs, but it wasn't, people weren't, there wasn't, would you say there wasn't like a lot of laughs from people?
I don't care about whether anybody else laughs. I laughed a bunch of times.
No. I'm not saying that it's not funny. I'm just saying the reception wasn't like just raucous.
Oh, okay, right.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe.
I reckon for me there was like 3 really solid jokes that I enjoyed, which we'll talk about in spoilers. But I think all in all, like a lot of it was like, a lot of the jokes were reference to a previous thing or a pop culture reference and look at my balls. And that's kind of the
Did you
cycle.
get a kind of Robot Chicken vibe from it? It's
Yeah,
like
there's
a
a bit of
long
that
episode
from
of
it.
Robot
Yeah,
Chicken.
yeah.
It's, some of it's pretty low-hanging fruit, like balls. Some of it's like, this guy's too stoic or this guy has an accent that's difficult to understand. Like it felt kind of, after we watched this, you said that my opinion was probably going to be, this is like watching, this is like reading a random issue of a comic book. And I'm like, how dare you? But it kind of was. But again, I think like as a series of sketches that are like, you're in the know and you're having a bit of fun, this doesn't have to, this isn't the death of cinema. No, it's not. There are people out there going, "Oh, this is a cynical slop or whatever."
Yeah.
I genuinely think that the people
it feels like a lot of effort has
a lot of
actually
effort went into some, like, many aspects of this. I think the idea of, like, we've all experienced these movies and there's a lot of funny to be mined out of this sort of stuff. I think a lot of that works, but again, I think the plot is weak.
Yeah,
like it's weak, and it's like I said earlier. Why would you tell Deadpool that you're going to destroy his universe?
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing that could have been solved. And I genuinely think that was probably going to be a conversation that Deadpool overheard.
Oh, yeah.
There's a character that can, flay you alive with the power of their mind from 20 feet away until it's inconvenient for that to happen, and then they just don't.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing. If you're going through this if you were thinking this is going to be like a rock solid addition to the MCU, like where more stuff has to make sense, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah. So Emma Corrin plays Cassandra Nova. And I think she's actually good. Like, her performance is good, but it is that bit of like, you could kill everybody. Also, like, often because
she doesn't, because she's crazy.
That's right. Because often they'll go in. A lot of this is in the void, which we've seen in Loki.
Yes.
So it's if you get zapped with one of those sticks, you end up in the void. So you who knows who you're going to run into in there?
That's right.
And then that,
maybe some cameos.
That big cloud is coming, but also, like, you can just kind of go inside Ant-Man, and then it won't get you.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure the like, I think that speaks to, like, we didn't think about it that much, which is fine, because really this is just this whole, like, structure is an avenue for doing the jokes.
Yeah, but I would say, that being said, some of the jokes could have been better.
Yeah, I don't disagree, because I think also I think the first Deadpool in particular, it's so tight because of the budget, and every scene has to work and connect in a way that makes sense, and you can't rely on, like, oh, look who that is or whatever. Like, where you don't have to do this here, you can kind of, like, it feels kind of more slapdash, and we can do whatever. Like, I know also people are talking about, and this speaks more to the cameos, that it is like a loving homage to, like, Fox Marvel, but I don't really know if it is. I mean, there's kind of there's a bit at the, like, you might see, like, a few people from that universe, again, not get into specifics, but at the end in the credits there's like some behind the scenes footage of some of those movies to set to Green Day's Time of Your Life. And so, but I think so it leaves you with the sense that, like, this is a loving homage, but these characters, a lot of the times they'll show up and they're in a room together and they have a conversation, but it does again feel like that thing of, like, well, that person probably didn't film on the same day as that person.
Right,
and and there's an action scene, but it's, it doesn't really kind of gel in a way that they're working together. So, I don't know if it is. Do you think it is like a loving homage?
I think probably, like, Jackman and Reynolds do genuinely like a lot of the work they've done, and I think that sort of comes through.
Also, they're really good. Like, they're great.
I mean, Hugh Jackman especially, for a guy who has said in the past that he doesn't really want to do Wolverine anymore.
He's doing a lot.
Maybe he's changed his mind, but he puts in 150%.
Yeah.
He's putting in way more than anybody else in this movie.
Absolutely. And the idea in this universe is that this guy is the worst Wolverine in the multiverse, but it's just the same Wolverine you've seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
We do visit some odd dimensions.
We'll talk about this in spoilers, but yeah, if you're like, well, maybe this will be a Wolverine we haven't seen before, you have. You saw him.
Probably the Wolverine is probably the closest version.
No, it's Logan.
Oh yeah, it is Logan. It's slightly younger Logan. Yeah.
It's exactly Logan.
Oh, it is exactly Logan because they have a very similar story. You are not wrong. But yeah,
so I would say, look, we're gonna get another Deadpool. You would imagine, if this is gonna do the numbers that they're expecting.
I mean, he'll at least show up.
Yeah. So I would like another Logan. I would like another Deadpool movie. Again, I would like another movie that's when I was a kid. There was a Marvel comic called What the.
Yeah.
And it was like the parody.
Like Rove's What the?
Yeah, I think that's where he got the name. and it was kind of it was like Mad Magazine, but with all the Marvel characters.
Right, okay.
And it felt like that. And I would like another Deadpool. Again, if you're being like, well, this is the self-referential one. This is where we do funny sketches about all our previous work. Yeah. I would love to see another one if the jokes were better.
Yeah, okay.
And you worked a bit harder on it.
Wow. Well, I was going to say this to the end, but you want me to do it now. This is other concepts which were considered.
Oh, yeah.
For the movie.
Now, some of these have been revealed in like they're on Hot Ones.
Yeah. There's no spoilers here in terms of what they ended up making. This is from executive producer Wendy Jacobson, who spoke to Comic Book Resources, who said so many different ideas. They really ran the gamut. I think at one point we had a very modestly budgeted indie road trip movie with him and Dopinder, who's barely in this. We had a frame-for-frame remake of Thor 2 with Deadpool in it until the first act break. We had all kinds of things.
That would be funny.
Yeah, we had Deadpool's deleted scenes extravaganza where he was just going to show that Deadpool was in the MCU all along. His scenes were just on the cutting room floor.
I think they should have done that with the Sentry.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because he's the character
He's
that
the
everybody
character
forgot.
that everyone forgot.
Have I talked about it on the podcast?
You have, yeah.
Okay, right.
Maybe the paywall stuff.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, do you want to talk about it?
No, not really, but I've always said that they should be, if the Sentry were to get his own solo movie, which I don't think is going to happen anymore, but the idea that he's a character that was in the Marvel Universe and everybody forgot, you just insert him into, or you'd maybe even do a POV shot of him in those scenes. You know, like the scene in the Avengers where they're all, in the third act where they're all like, you go and do this, and you go and do this. Iron Man, you go and do this, and Hulk smash. And by the way, Sentry, you go and do this. And then it's like...
Right, I got you. Yeah.
He's always been there,
Always
but nobody
been there.
remembers. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, though. I don't think they'll do that.
No.
And on Hot Ones, of course, they said the original idea for the movie was to shoot a fake movie called Alpha Cop. That was intentionally bad. I even had one of the posters made. It was about two guys... This is Ryan Reynolds talking. It's about two guys that were sharing one brain and together they make the perfect cop. It was meant to be kind of like horrible, like 10 people in America would go to see this movie on opening weekend, and 5 minutes into the movie, the Marvel logo would flip up and it would actually be Deadpool and Wolverine. The problem is that if you managed to get down to the last minute and it got blown, it would just be heartbreaking.
It would, yeah.
You could not pull that off either.
No. Also, speaking of my great ideas, did we talk about this? I thought that's how the way they should have done the Matrix Resurrections.
Oh, like pretend it's a different
Pretend
movie.
it's a movie where... You pretend it's a movie
like
where...
a rom-com...
Well, yeah, you pretend it's a... You could use most of the elements from the movie, but you pretend it's a... You do a press release where it's like one of the Wachowskis who's re-teamed with Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss for like a rom-com.
Yeah.
It's about a software executive and he's tired of his job and there's a mum and they have a connection or whatever. And you do a limited release and it'd be like... Everybody would be like... most people are like, well, if it's not the Matrix, I'm not seeing it. But some people would be like, I like that creative team, I'll go see it. And then... 20 minutes in, you're like, are we in the Matrix? What's going on?
That would be amazing.
And then it's the Matrix, but it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late.
That would be, oh man. And that would be like recreating the original Matrix twist.
That's what I'm talking about. And the idea, how that would work would be because the Matrix Resurrections is about people who've like boiled the Matrix down to kung fu and whatever and slow-mo. So so it's for the people who are like, no, I actually like creativity. I'll go and see it. Yeah. But again, it's too late.
You had a similar idea for something related to a rom-com, but I feel like I don't want to say it because somebody will just do it.
No, it was a rom-com that diverged into a horror movie. Very, very, yeah. No, that was it. I don't feel like that's probably been done. You can do that in horror because there's no financial...
And nobody's keeping a close eye on it,
well,
right?
no, again, nobody would do it in... It's very easy to have great novel ideas when nobody's letting you handle the money.
Exactly.
Because we've talked about this, that like The Matrix 4 came out because... Maybe Hollywood, that's all they wanted from Wachowskis generally,
Yeah.
So the idea that they could, a novel way to do this could be pitched wouldn't work because if nobody went to see it, just wouldn't, it's a failure.
I don't disagree. Just before we do spoilers, I just want to talk a little bit about the action. I think it's pretty kind of static and repetitive.
Yeah.
Like initially when you see like Wolverine fight Deadpool, it's interesting, but then it kind of happens again. And they have like this big kind of one-er together at the end. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of flat. And I think part of it is like, I think the first one is probably the most interesting, but they're invincible. So it kind of just goes on, but it's not funny enough to be like...
They're invincible, but if you cut Deadpool's head off, that would be the end of it. And yet somehow a man with 6 adamantium claws never does that.
Yeah.
Maybe
so it's doesn't want to.
Maybe he doesn't want, or maybe he's too good a guy.
Maybe he is.
But you're right. I think the first action sequence is the best one.
Yeah.
Which is without Wolverine.
I was going to say the fight that he has with Wolverine is the best Wolverine fight that they have.
The one where they're
in the void.
The one in the void. Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah. But you're right.
Just to see it.
Then there's another one in a car, and then there's, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to say best movie ever.
Do you want to do needle drops just quickly?
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they're pretty jarring.
Yeah.
Is that because Deadpool needs to be a heightened version of previous movies and Guardians 3 and those sort of movies have really that is pretty much as far as you can go.
Guardians 3, Borderlands, upcoming.
That's right.
Just big needle drop movies.
Is that as that's pretty much right up to the line before being very obnoxious. Yeah. So if you were making a Deadpool movie where everything has to be heightened and more, they have to be obnoxious.
Yeah.
Or is it just they're like this is just what we do.
I mean, I like the Madonna one. I like there's an NSYNC one at the start,
Yes.
and I don't remember any of the other ones, but
yeah.
I remember some of them being like, oh yeah. Anyways, before we do spoilers, yeah, I think it is best movie ever. I've seen also people being like, this reignites the MCU, but I don't know, because as somebody famously shouted at me in YouTube comments, Deadpool lives in his own space, and this doesn't really point to the bigger thing that they're doing.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, I know it does do some multiverse stuff, and who knows who could show up next.
But there is also a couple of self-referential lines that are like, people are tired of the multiverse.
Yes.
So, you know.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah, too bad. You're getting a few more.
Settle in.
That's right.
But it does kind of feel like this, like all Deadpool movies, this is kind of self-contained.
Yes.
And I don't know. I think as a hit on its own, yes. Will it mean that people will be excited for like Thunderbolts? No, because that has nothing to do with.
That's exactly
this,
right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Captain America.
Nobody wants to look at Florence Pugh's balls.
No, exactly.
God.
Anyway, spoilers.
All right.
Cameos, Mason.
Oh, it's time for spoilers and cameos.
Henry Cavill is Wolverine.
Well, folks, if you haven't already been spoiled by the internet.
Yeah. And we did a video on it.
All right, Henry.
And that has its own cameo in it. Did you see it?
Did you get it?
Yeah, I got
it. Nice. Hell yeah.
So check out we've got a video on. On the biggest cameos.
It's very relevant.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, first, if we can talk about Henry Cavill. So
Yeah.
he's been long rumored as the new Wolverine, or people wanted him to be fan cast him, so they got him in.
Yeah.
That's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
The first cameo I wanted to talk about was the one. So now it's the second.
Whoa.
Is the one that they probably shouldn't have spoiled because it like
The Dafne
removes.
Keen one.
Yeah, it removes the kind of the emotional resonance
Yeah.
of the movie.
There's a room full of like heroes of old from the old
Yeah.
Fox universe or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And the last reveal is Dafne Keen.
So X-23
Yeah.
from the movie
It's like-
Logan.
I would have loved that if I didn't know that.
But so Kevin Feige said that he did that because Dafne Keen wanted to go to the premiere, and then
No one would have thought.
No, she could have just been like, "Yeah, remember I was in Logan. I'm here to support Hugh Jackman and say hello to Hugh Jackman."
Jake Lloyd went to the Attack of the Clones premiere,
Exactly.
probably.
Yeah, and then they were like,
He's
"Yeah,
not even in that movie."
Then they were like, "We thought about it. I thought it'd be a pretty good idea. People would see this." Also, like speaking of plot wise and how kind of weak this is. Yeah, Wolverine has exactly the same character arc as he did in Logan. He's quit the biz and he had all his friends are dead and he doesn't believe he can be a hero anymore. And then X-23 shows up and is like, "No, I believe in you." And he's like, "Okay, I will then." And it's literally the same with both the same characters and the same actors.
She literally says to him, "Listen, last time we did this, you said you didn't want to do it, but then you did do it."
Yeah. And look, I know it's not literally the same character, although it's both literally the same actors.
It could be the same. It could literally be because the Logan guy is in a different universe than the mainline Wolverine.
Yeah.
So it could be the mainline Wolverine. It doesn't matter.
But the fact that it's just like it weakens the whole thing that he is just going through the same arc.
Yeah.
Again.
I think they should have picked up one of the weirder ones.
I think maybe there was a point at which, and you've mentioned this before, like that maybe they were just going to use Logan from the movie Logan. It wouldn't surprise me if somewhere along the line they thought, what if Deadpool kidnaps Logan from the first scene in Logan, and then he has a character arc where he learns to go get rid of his, banish his past and become a better person, and then at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine, he gets his memory wiped, and then he gets put back at the start of the movie Logan, and then he's bitter and broken again, and then he has the arc again. That would be kind of funny, I think.
Or you kidnap him.
And there was a reference to be like, you're going to do this all again, by the way.
Or you kidnap him just before he learns his lesson, and he learns a lesson in Deadpool's universe, and then he puts him back. He goes, I learned my lesson in another universe, actually.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. I think my initial idea was that you have Logan be actually Hugh Jackman, and it's Deadpool dragging Hugh Jackman through this adventure.
That is fun.
And he puts him through the X-Men
Hasn't that
experiment.
happened in a movie, maybe?
Probably.
Yeah.
I feel like it's in like the Three Amigos or something.
I was going to say it. No, it happened in the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. That's sort of the same.
Yeah.
But different.
My idea was better.
It is better.
First.
It is better in first.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
I was going to say, like, I think also a lot of Wolverine is him standing behind Deadpool as Deadpool just like runs his mouth.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Uh-huh.
It's not super Wolverine heavy.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, do you like his little costume?
I did like his little costume.
Yeah.
And we're still talking cameos, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so cameos.
Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm, bit of fun.
Bit of fun.
I knew it would be Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
I knew it.
I know. We all knew it.
Bloody knew it.
I knew it first.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh, it's Chris Evans, for those, if you're listening. He comes back and...
Yep.
I think we talked about this in the video, but it would have been more surprising if Chris Evans didn't turn up in like Free Guy.
Yeah, true. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I get that's the 2005 Fantastic Four Johnny Storm.
Yeah. Okay. The super team that Deadpool forms. So it's Jennifer Garner as Electra from the movie Electra and Deadpool.
And I maintain
Daredevil.
I maintain they went to Ben Affleck and they couldn't get him, so they went to her.
Initially, I thought when you said that they went to Ben Affleck for permission to use the joke. That's what I thought you could.
Oh, no,
because
they just do it.
One of the times I laughed
It's
out loud.
It's a great joke.
Where Deadpool learns that Daredevil has died in this universe, and he goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss," and Jennifer Garner's like, "It's fine," because they were married in real life. They were married in real life, and then they got divorced.
That's right.
That's fine. That's a fun, mean joke.
Yeah.
I quite liked it. So
she's good.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. She's still got the moves from Alias.
Got it all.
And then, of course, we've got Blade.
Yep.
Didn't see that one coming.
That was fun.
Wesley Snipes.
I don't know whether I'd heard that because I feel like I heard 100 cameo rumors.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just desensitized to cameos, but I'm not like, whoa, anymore.
I think there should have been more cameos.
I agree.
I think they should have got Anna Paquin, but it's not Rogue. It's her character from the movie The Piano.
Sure.
Like, they should have all been fake
It would have
outs.
been the Michael Jordan joke from Space Jam Legacy.
You get one of the Ashmores and you think it's going to be Iceman, but then it turns out it's the other Ashmore and it's Jimmy
Animals.
Olsen. James Gunn would allow that. It'd be fine.
Agreed.
They did a Green Lantern joke in the last one.
Exactly.
Who else is on that team?
Gambit.
Channing Tatum Gambit.
Yeah.
And again, people are like, actually Death of Cinema because actually he wasn't even cut. Yeah, but it's funny.
And they say that in the thing as well because he's like, I don't think I've ever been in a real universe. Or
Right, yes.
Which is true because he was supposed to be Gambit and it
so
didn't happen.
you may have seen this, but when they did the cameo reveals at SDCC,
why?
Channing Tatum was wearing the same T-shirt that he was wearing in 2015. It's a Gambit T-shirt that he was wearing when it was maybe announced that he was going to do it like in years and years ago.
Yeah, I liked his accent. Actually, one of the jokes that I liked was his dialect coach. The Deadpool asks if his dialect coach is the Minions or something like that. He's doing a terrible French
but then
accent.
Speaking of, just their group fight sequence was not very exciting.
No, that's what I mean.
It was a lot of. Speaking of that one and the sequence where Deadpool and Wolverine fight the Deadpool Corps.
Yeah.
Just walking, just running and stabbing. Not
yeah.
interesting. Somebody pointed this out and it was really obvious once it was pointed out. There's a moment where Deadpool and Wolverine fight their way through a bus and then they leap out the front window.
Yeah.
And then Wolverine is he's just a CGI guy for like 10 seconds doing like an idle animation.
Right.
It's terrible. But I like the mask.
Yeah, well, the mask comes on just before, yeah. I mean, we see the brown costume in this. I do prefer the brown costume.
Yeah. But, so we got an Age of Apocalypse Wolverine. We got a Patch Wolverine.
Yep.
We got
the one on the cross.
And one where he's crucified Wolverine.
Yeah. I think there's another one in there. There's tiny little Wolverine.
Comic accurate Wolverine, yeah.
There's someone. I feel like there's another one.
Maybe.
That we missed also in the cameo video.
Maybe.
The skeleton Wolverine, of course.
Yes.
Logan. Yeah. And then, all the Deadpools I was kind of not super fast
Now, it's been confirmed that Lady Deadpool is...
Blake Lively.
Blake Lively, thank you.
Matthew McConaughey's in there.
Sure.
There's a few others. Someone's the voice of Headpool that I should know. I saw the voice of that and I can't remember who the voice was, but I went, oh yeah, Headpool voice. It's Nathan Fillion. There you go.
Okay.
And there's handsome Deadpool, nice Pool.
Yes.
That's the joke that I like. He does a fourth wall break when he says the proposal.
Oh yeah.
And then that joke I liked.
That was fun.
I thought that was a good joke.
It was a good joke.
Did you feel like at the end, because Wolverine's like, I'm going out on my own, I'm doing my own thing now, and then Deadpool invites him back to live with him or whatever. I feel like this does.
I thought they were going to kiss.
Maybe.
Honestly.
Why not?
Yeah,
Let's do it. Let's go.
It was like a before you go turn around, and then they were going to kiss, but they didn't.
Yeah. I think we've
cowards.
I think we've already seen some like YouTube thumbnails that are like, men are back and men are ruling the MCU. Deadpool is not straight. I mean, it's fairly obvious from this movie, but also like in the comic books
and the previous movies.
But and Hugh Jackman, I thought, is he not going to take his shirt off? Did he get ripped for no reason?
But then he was shirt off with a mask, and I'm like, you could do that with anybody.
Yeah.
But then he was shirt off mask off.
He's big.
He's big and huge.
He's big and huge.
And again, that thing of
Huge
like,
Jack.
well, the Time Ripper's going to destroy the entire universe unless, but even if you try to stop it, one person will die, but two people, they're fine.
It's the Guardians of the Galaxy thing.
Yeah,
if we
again.
all hold hands.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not going to kill us or whatever.
Yeah. Weak.
Yeah.
Weak sauce.
I think Hugh Jackman's going to do this again. I mean, there's a joke that like they're going to make him do it till he's 90.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go through the multiverse saga.
Oh, at
and
least,
then they'll recast
at least
him.
Secret Wars.
Yeah, because there is no indication in this. Maybe other than X-23 who might stay.
Yeah.
This doesn't hint towards any X-Men shit.
In fact, if I were to hazard a guess, I'm going to say that they will recast Wolverine by Secret Wars.
Okay.
And then they'll do the handshake.
Oh,
Crossover.
Passing of the torch.
Passing of the torch, because that's the only way you'll be able to do it, is if you go... That's the only way an audience will accept it, is if you have old Wolverine go, I like this guy, he's the new guy.
Good job, kid.
Good job, kid. You're as good a Wolverine as I am.
If not better.
That's right.
But not better. I got some reviews here, Mason.
Go on.
From Twitter.
Oh,
From
yes.
Jonathan, who says, New Deadpool then. I think I hated it. Emotionally hollow, especially compared to the first two. Cameos that require knowledge of real-life stuff, like it's a Kevin Smith movie. Terrible action and not really very funny. Worst movie ever. But Russell Michaels said, oh, no, he said...
Did he go,
No, he went, Robot Dreams was wonderful and sad and sweet. Lots of emotion with no dialogue. Best movie ever. Oh, I didn't realize. We should watch Robot Dreams. Apparently it's really good.
It's Robot Dreams.
I think it's on Netflix or something. It looks fun and French or something.
Okay.
Yolk Man says, saw Deadpool and Wolverine at a midnight screening, thought it was all right. Fun action and chemistry, however, it was very evident that they rushed it out due to the strike. Still, best movie ever. Don't regret seeing it. John Paul says, just got out of Deadpool and Wolverine. I laughed, I cried, and I mouthed along to songs. I'm not going to sing in a movie theater. I'm not a psycho, so it gets a best movie ever rating. Nate Harris says, spoilers for Deadpool. Surprised they acknowledged fanned Force Stick in the credits. Yeah, they did, didn't they? But they made me cry that one multi-billion-dollar company bought another multi-billion-dollar company. And Dewey Boyman says, might be the most self-indulgent movie ever made, and God bless them for it.
Yeah.
Best movie ever.
What's interesting is the reviews of this from our listeners, from just general population on Twitter and professional critics and all sorts, they've been all over the place, and all of them seem at least somewhat valid.
Yes.
You know, somebody will be like, this is the death of cinema. I'm like, to one degree or another, it is the death of cinema. But, and somebody will be like, I had a blast. I'm like, you should have a blast.
Yeah.
That's what, this isn't the end of the world.
No, absolutely it's not. There
You
will
know?
be more of these forever. It's got an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes as a recording, and it's got 10,000 plus certified audience reviews sitting at 97%. So,
right there.
yeah, I think generally, the reception to this has been very positive. I think this will... Over time, this will kind of Spider-Man No Way Home kind of decrease.
Yep.
When you don't have that kind of the surprise of it, when you're not sitting in a theater.
Yeah.
When you know kind of what's coming, I think.
And I know
the
I
shine
had
might
some
come
criticism of No Way Home at the time, again, for script reasons.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't feel like that's as relevant when it's making jokes about a universe where the script has never been important, or the continuity has never been important, really.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. So that's Deadpool, Mason.
Deadpool.
He'll be back in another movie and he'll be like, I can't even swear here.
I'm effing and Jeffing.
I want to use the F and I'm in the
That's
PG-13,
right.
but somebody else used it, so I can't say it. Can't say it. Yeah.
The Guardians of the Galaxy 3 F-bomb, that's one of the best uses of it.
Incredible.
Yeah, still good.
I think it was improv.
Might have
or
been.
like James Gunn threw it to Chris Pratt.
That's great.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, because then you look at that, you look at the X-Men Cross the Road movie for aliens.
Uh-huh.
That F-bomb is just, God,
Yeah,
just
that's
a great place to put it.
Yeah.
Anyways, should we move it along?
Let's move it along to what we read.
Yeah.
What we're going to read.
Movies are back, baby.
Movies are back.